Hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of Baseball Talk with Merrills and Spock. Merrills and Spock here to talk to you about the August playoff races, just kind of going into September, just to kind of outline the meaningful September out there for you. Now, for those of you who are curious, we do kind of have some sources and whatnot, so if you want to see what we see with all the head-to-head matchups, whatever, just click down below and we will send you the links, and feel free to cruise and browse and see if you get our own opinion from it. Anyways, we're going to get into it. We're going to start off with the National League West. A couple days ago, on Sunday, I believe, the San Francisco Giants just got mathematically eliminated, so the playoff race is officially on. They're the first team in a little while to get eliminated. The last 2 years have been the Cincinnati Reds, so it's not really something San Francisco's kind of used to, especially with all the wins this past couple of years. But anyways, let's get into it. Spock, what do you got?
Well, first of all, I want to say I feel bad for the Rockies because, they're playing some pretty good baseball. 68-56. That's not a bad record.
I think it'd probably be...
Yeah, however, the Dodgers at 88-33...
35.
Sorry, 35, my bad. You can't compete with that. I mean, again, looking at the Rockies' record, 68-56, if there were any games back, it would usually be like 2 or 3, because that's a pretty darn good record.
It is.
However, they're 20 and a half games back from the leading Dodgers. So, it sucks that won't be, a first seed or a second seed. So, they're now put into the wild card, which is awful, because now their great season, tremendous season almost, rests on one game.
Yeah.
So...
But couldn't you argue potentially that's why a wild card was invented, was for teams like the Rockies?
Well, of course. All I'm saying is, any other time, I mean, here and there you have teams like when was it when the Cardinals had like a 100-win season?
Oh,
it's not too long ago.
Not
anyway,
sure. I know the Mariners had 116.
Yeah, you have teams like that just, run away with it.
The Cubs last year, 103.
Yeah, you had teams that just run away with it. But then you have teams like the Rockies who are 68-56, which is a really good record. Put them in any other division,
they'd still be pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, put them in the NL Central and boom, they're leading. But put them in the National League West, they're 20 and a half back. Or even if you put that over to the into the American League, any of those divisions, they're leading. So I don't know. I just feel it feels awful because they're playing such good baseball, but one game could decide their whole season.
Yeah, but the thing for them is it looks like it's going to be at Coors Field, their home stadium, though, with arguably their best pitchers.
Yeah, I guess. But still, I mean, it's hard to fathom that such a good team could be out like that.
Nah, but the Dodgers, though, they've had quite the incredible season. You've got Bellinger, who's been doing well. Kershaw's been out for quite a bit, and they've still been
on the
catching
60-day DL.
You've got Turner, you've got Wilson, you've even got Jock Peterson, coming up, and he's been doing really well this season. The fact that the Dodgers have just been crazy. They're on pace for 115 wins right now, and currently that's about one shy of the all-time record. The Seattle Mariners of 2001. So yeah, I've kind of got to give it to them, but I guess the thing with October is the records get swiped as soon as the playoffs start.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
That's the thing. Can they be able to go and go for that World Series that Yasiel Puig is guaranteeing? Looks like it. They haven't won a game against the Nationals yet this season.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't the Nationals known for choking in the playoffs?
They are, but so are the Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw, 4 straight divisions, has got 1 CS under his belt.
Touche. I don't know. I mean, when I think of choking in the playoffs, other than Texas, I can only think of one other team, and that's the Nationals that choke more. But like you said, the records are swiped, so records don't mean anything.
That's fair.
Yeah, it matters how good you are with clutch baseball and when it matters. So.
Also, there's a big series coming up with the Nationals and Dodgers in Los Angeles. It's a 4-game set. I believe it's September 16 and 19. in Los Angeles, so that'll be a good indicator and a good kind of preview of potentially the NLCS.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, anything else, D-backs?
Well, I was just going back to the Rockies. I mean, I just can't get over the fact that if they lose to the Rockies,
Yes.
I mean, or sorry, yeah, no, if the Rockies, lose to the D-backs, the D-backs are 67-57,
Yep.
which is
One
only
game back.
yeah, it's only one game back. However, it just sucks that it has to go down. It has to play out like that. That even though you are the better team, you could lose it all in one game, and it's just, as you can tell, I'm not the biggest fan of wildcard games.
Yeah, but the wildcard games gives you kind of like something else, just the fact that you get to see these like dramatic effects and just not like
Yeah, no, it's
have
for
a
the
wild-
underdog mostly.
Of course, and you've seen the 2014 Giants win as they were the bottom seed. They won the World Series that year.
That's true. Oh, well, they've fallen from grace. I mean,
well, it's just an odd numbered year. I think that's the only thing with the Giants right now. When Bumgarner gets better, they'll be
true.
fine.
That's true. Yeah, I guess you're right. Well, we'll just have to see how it plays out, but I don't really follow the NL as much as I do the AL, rightfully so. But it would really suck to see the Rockies lose to the D-backs.
Yeah.
But who knows? The D-backs could move up.
How about the NL Central here? I think there's definitely 4 teams I think in contention for it right now. The only one I'd say it's probably out of it right now, I'd say, is the Reds. It's only fair. It's a little sad, but hey, gotta keep going. I like the Cardinals. They've got a really kind of, decent thing, but I think the record against their own division, they're 8 under at 22-30 right now.
I think
That's gonna hurt them.
I think the Cubs might run away with it. I mean, I feel like there's those teams where once they gain momentum, it's like the Red Sox at home or the Yankees at home. They're just almost unbeatable at home. And the Cubs are one of those teams where at home, especially at Wrigley Field, they're a powerhouse. They're, with the crowd getting behind them, the former World Series champs, the veteran experience you have. But
The curse of the Billy Goat got destroyed.
You have their young guns as well. All that played in. I think the Cubs are running away with it.
Yeah, I think the Cubs are going to contend again. I think realistically they're going to be up there again. It's kind of sad to see the Brewers. They had such a big lead, and then the Cubs just kind of swiped under their feet and just kind of took it with them. But they're pretty close in the wild card right now, so I'm not really kind of surprised. Although just kind of looking at the roster here again, the Cubs, they haven't beaten the Dodgers as well. They haven't beaten the Nationals as well. So who knows if they're actually going to go back and repeat.
Want to go now to the NL East?
Yeah, I'd say so. It's pretty obvious. It's the Nationals. I mean,
Poor Marlins, though. Okay.
Yeah, but they're not even 500.
Well, okay. Here's what I have to say. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but what it seems like is there's only 1 or 2 players carrying that team, the Marlins.
No.
Most notably,
Giancarlo Stanton.
obviously. I mean,
But they're willing to trade him, though. That's the thing that I find a little surprising.
are they?
They're considering it.
They're trading their best
They're considering it.
franchise player
I wouldn't,
to.
but I don't know.
Man, that's
I mean, you've seen him
disappointing.
play live. He's only got like a 220 average at best.
Well, here's the thing. I would compare him, not in terms of power or anything like that, but in terms of clutch, I would compare him to Bautista. Bautista's got a 217 average or something?
Yeah.
Not the best, obviously. However, they're both clutch.
Yeah,
I mean, the Marlins have never been to the playoffs, so I can't say Stanton...
they've won 2 World Series.
No, I mean with Stanton there.
Oh, yeah,
though.
with Stanton. Yeah.
The Marlins have never been to the World Series with Stanton there, so I can't really say Stanton is clutch, or whether he is clutch or not in the playoff. But in terms of...
Just figured they'd like...
Oh, okay, yeah. In terms of, during the regular season, they both seem to, come out when the pressure's on, when they need to win games. Because, I mean, that record's a lot better than it was last year, that's for sure.
And I mean,
Last year, they were just atrocious.
I think they got to give them another year or 2 until they really start contending again.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when the Harper contract comes up at the end of 2018.
Oh, that's going to be a big
That
climb.
might be Marlins time.
Machado, was it Machado? Harper. There's like 3 or 4 big names.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you were saying, the Nationals, they're running away with it.
They're running away with it, and I think realistically, are they able to contend? I guess we'll find out.
I don't know. They choked.
Yeah, I know they're no choke, but still.
I mean,
Who else is there?
well, that's just it. There's. So
Yep.
yeah, I think we have those 3 all set out. That is the Dodgers, Cubs, and Nats that are running.
Yeah,
away
I
with
think
it.
that's all fair that all 3 of those divisions are going to be taken. I think the Cubs is probably going to be the closest division, obviously,
Cool.
because you've still got
The
so many
Brewers.
teams still in it. Even the Cardinals too. They're just 3.5 back right now.
Yeah, I guess.
So anyway, it's going on with the NL wild card. It's not as difficult to figure out as the AL wild card. Colorado and Arizona have basically been running away with it the entire season.
It's probably going to be those 2 in the wild card.
Yeah, but I think it's interesting because the record between the 2 is 6-6 right now. So like,
It's
what
very
is
tight.
the difference between
It's
the 2?
very tight.
I'd say for me, I think the difference is home field advantage,
Mm-hmm.
and I think right now I think the Rockies have it.
Really, you think so?
I think the Rockies will do better than the Diamondbacks. Just looking though,
I'm just trying to think who's the ace for the Rockies.
well, they've got Charlie Blackmon in the outfield, who's been pretty decent. He obviously was at the home
Well, the
run.
D-backs, do they? The Greinke, isn't it?
Well, they have Greinke, but they
Yeah.
also have Corbin. I believe he's currently 16 innings without a run right now, which is pretty clutch. But if you look at teams that may get hot, though, look out for those Cardinals. You know, they're looking like a dark horse. They've got a winning record against all the other NL contenders, I'd say. They've got the Rockies, D-backs, Brewers, Cardinals, Marlins, and even the Pirates. And I think realistically they've got winning records. So if those Cardinals heat up, don't sleep on the Cardinals, folks. Do not.
Well, one thing I just noticed though is about the Brewers, even though they're, almost right behind the Cubs.
The record's not the best.
Well, I'm just looking at Pittsburgh versus Pittsburgh, which is they're not that good. At
No,
Pittsburgh.
it's not.
They're 3-8 against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's been a rough year.
I mean, I shouldn't really.
Folks, I'd like to apologize for the temporary delay. Anyways, back at it. We're going with our NL wildcard predictions, and I think it's obvious the Rockies and Diamondbacks. The only one that really I'd say would screw it up is probably the Cardinals for this point in time, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, moving on to the American League, we'll start off with the East, and it's really just a 2-horse race between, yet again, the Red Sox and Yankees.
Absolutely. Did you want to discuss the 2 teams underneath?
Not really.
Yeah, okay. All right.
No, there's no contest between really the Red Sox and Yankees. Both have been great this year, and I think both of them really stand out at this point in time.
Actually, now that sorry for interrupting. Now that I look at this, I don't even know if New York can really contend. I mean,
No, I don't think they could either. I just think that they're there just because they've got the wild card spot right.
I know they have a mediocre, pretty good record,
Rebuild with the kids and whatnot. Yes.
but they're 4.5 back, and I mean, going into September, I don't know how well that can hold.
I think right there they've got a 7-3 record against the Red Sox, and they've got at least another 8 games left. It could potentially mean something in the fact that they've got to face each other a couple more times before crunch time really hits over.
By the way, are we doing our reveals at the end of our?
Yeah, I'd say after we go through the divisions, whatnot.
Okay, perfect.
Let's see here. Against the AL East, both of them only have 24 losses, which I think is weird. New York doing better. They've got 29-24, whereas the Red Sox 27-24. Red Sox have beaten Houston. They've beat Cleveland. They've got a series with Cleveland on right now, actually.
What do they?
Yeah, they do. I believe they lost last night, actually, 5-4.
Don't even get me started on Cleveland.
We'll get to Cleveland, don't worry. Yeah, it's Boston, New York, but I think realistically the Red Sox go again and get another AL East title. Would be. So anyways, moving on to the AL Central, and there's really only 3 teams, in my opinion, for contention there. You've got the Indians, the Twins, and the Royals.
So just because I'm a biased Jays fan here, I'm just going to say flat out, I'm hoping the Twins pull out.
Or even the Royals.
No.
No?
I mean, as a biased Jays fan, why would I want the Royals? They ruined our division series. Or no,
Championship series.
Sorry, championship series, not division.
6 games. Yes.
And I mean, Cleveland, just the Encarnacion trade alone. I mean, if that weren't bad enough, they knocked us out
last year.
Yeah, they knocked us out
Yeah.
last year. Was it a sweep or
5 games.
5 games? Okay, I knew it was pretty bad, but
That AL Central is still, they're stacked, and I think realistically they could probably contend.
I would say Cleveland has the best chance already.
I think Cleveland's got it as well.
They have the best all-around team. They have experience, but then they also have the youngsters. They're not a team like the Jays or even Kansas City really that depends solely on home runs.
I think realistically, the fact that they're 5-1 against the Astros right now, that could be something very important down the road potentially. That we've seen that they've dominated Houston. Maybe that might be the difference between, say, the DS and the CS, or the CS and maybe even the thing.
Yep, that's true.
Just kind of looking, obviously Cleveland, it's no contest really, I'd say, in my opinion. They've got that division locked up. Moving on to speaking of locked up, the AL West. Houston. Even with your stars injured and whatnot, you're still dominating the league. At a 76-48 record.
Well, I just look at the record versus AL West, 34-17.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Now, Houston was a big shocker to me. I mean, they just, right from 1 or 2 months in, they were just flying away with it.
Well, they were in the DS 2 years ago, right? They lost to Kansas City in 5.
Mm-hmm.
So that, they could contend again. They did win the AL West 2 years ago. No, they didn't. They were in the wild card.
No.
Yeah, because they beat the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
But the 1-5 against Cleveland, that's something that, you might need to work on there. I'm sure I hope there's more games between the Indians and Astros, but, we'll see what happens. And I think the only other team, just for comparison, it's on there, the Los Angeles Angels, 64-61, 12 and a half back.
Yeah,
so, I think that's a guarantee right there. Houston's got that division.
Although, I mean, they do have a winning record versus Boston, but that's the only positive. 0-3 versus Cleveland, then 4-6 against Houston.
Yeah.
So that right there is just...
We'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think realistically I'm excited for Cleveland, Boston, ALDS.
Mm-hmm.
I think as a fan, that's probably the most excited I am for.
Okay.
Moving on to the absolute albatross that is the American League wild card. As you can see, there's about 9 or so teams in it. And basically what you marked in blue is all the matchups you want to face. If you're the team, like say New York, and all the reds are all the ones that you don't want to face. And it is absolutely nuts. Well, so we'll start off with the Yankees. What do you think right now?
I don't know. Yankees are a very up and down team. They go on a lot of streaks, but then they fall. Then they go on another streak, then they fall.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. So they could go on another hot streak and then be right back in it. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say, especially at this time.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the season here.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'd say the Yankees. I think they probably should hold on and be able to host the wild card game at home.
I think they will. It just depends whether they get hot again or if they stay.
And from the looks of it, it looks like they're able to take on any team below them except maybe the Angels and maybe the Jays. But I won't jinx my chances right now.
Mm-hmm.
The Twins, they're looking okay.
Mm-hmm.
No teams they can really get destroyed against except maybe Toronto.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
They've been dominant this year. I don't think Target Field would be the home, but I think realistically, I don't know. Minnesota could catch up to New York at this point in time, or even Los Angeles at this point in time.
Honestly,
anyone can catch up to New York. I think, in my opinion.
I know this is a few ranks down the wild card standings, but I feel like Baltimore and Texas. I've been surprised, but in the past month or two, they've really gained momentum and
turn around.
I mean, they're not doing the best. However, compared to what they were doing,
so with Baltimore and Texas,
they're just substantially better than what they were.
And I could say the same thing with Los Angeles, in my opinion. I think I can even say it with the Royals too. They won the World Series 2 years ago. Counting them out would kind of be a little ridiculous, in my opinion.
Well, I don't know, because I mean, I guess you're right, because, I mean, look at the Cubs.
Yeah.
People were like, oh, World Series hangover. It's understandable,
Not
but yeah, not anymore. So
All right, I know
It's a
you
hit
want to go
miss.
for it.
it's a hit miss.
Rant on those Jays.
Okay, well,
Go for it.
well, first of all, they are absolutely terrible when it comes to games that matter.
I think they're 3-9 with extra inning games, something like that.
Yes.
Something crazy.
Awful, 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 awful. Number one. Number two, it seems like if the Jays aren't leading by at least the fourth or fifth inning, they're done. Their bullpen is just, it was atrocious all year, and then for a span of about a month and a half maybe, their bullpen was doing all right.
Things
And
are
then-
not Osuna, Matano, and Toronto.
No, they've fallen again.
Back to mediocrity.
Yeah,
But I think they still have a chance. I mean, they are playing Tampa, they are playing Texas, they are playing Minnesota, they are playing. I think they're playing the Angels again. I don't think so. They're playing the Royals again. So I mean, you could climb, and you're playing teams that you do want to play against.
it's brutal. How many times have you seen though this year where they're leading by 4 or 5 runs, going into the 8th or 9th inning, and they blow it? So many drop third strikes where they don't get outs, which leads to runners on base, which then a base hit just destroys them. Or there's been at least 2 or 3 times that I can remember where the other teams had a walk-off.
Yes.
Walk.
Yes,
It's just awful. Bases loaded and you walk the guy.
Detroit.
Yeah, it's just, the Jays are a mess. I
But
mean,
I still have them in there. I think it's fair. They're 5 games out.
I'm
Right now,
trying
it's
to
about
be
35
optimistic.
left.
I'm trying to be optimistic about this, but
They need at least 20 wins.
they're just, they're disappointing this year, to say the least.
But I think realistically, the fact that all these teams are below 500 or near 500, Toronto still has a chance.
Well,
I mean, it's a weak AL wild card this year. I don't know why, but like everyone's in it. So
Well,
even
this
the
is
team that
where I-
shouldn't be in it.
This is where I become optimistic. I mean, you have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have all these teams.
You got 9 teams in it right now. It's
Yeah,
it's
and-
2 spots.
Exactly, and they're only separated between, 5 games?
7.5 games between
Yeah,
everybody.
exactly. So it can change on a dime.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It
Tampa, too, has kind of been falling but this year as well.
mhm.
That's fair. Baltimore, yep, looks like they don't really need to play anyone in a wild card. Texas, I mean, it's really the only shot they got, and maybe Toronto. Kansas City, it's about even. It's just like a coin toss whether or not you're doing well. Let's see here. New York's got basically everybody beat. Minnesota's got everybody beat.
Mhm.
LA, I'd say they can take down the Yankees. That's an honest opinion.
So yeah, overall, I think New York, if they can hold it, stable at this pace, then
New York's good. I like
good.
Minnesota. I think LA's got a good shot. I don't know about Seattle.
no.
Texas, I don't think so. Baltimore, Tampa, Toronto, no. So anyways, this comes to the part where we reveal our lovely little playoff brackets and dispute here. So I guess we'll start off with the NL wildcard.
And now wild card.
NL wildcard.
Okay,
I've got Colorado,
Mhm.
the 4 team, and I've got Arizona as the 5 team.
same. I have the Rockies and the D-backs playing in the NL wild card.
Let's see here. The first team in the NL, I've got the Dodgers.
That's
I
same
think
here.
I've got the Dodgers playing the Rockies.
Yes, that's exactly what I have.
And then on
That's
the other
right.
side, I've got Washington playing Chicago.
Yep,
That's
absolutely. Yep.
And for the CS, I'll let you start with this one.
Okay, I have the Dodgers
Yep.
playing the Cubs.
No, I've got the Nationals. And then I looked at the head-to-head matchups, and I think the Nationals have it. They have to win now. It's kind of like the Capitals. It's a win-now mentality. I think that's something that's really strong within kind of just the team right now. I think realistically that.
Oh yeah,
push
both
them forward.
Washington teams choke them.
Yeah, both Washington teams are kind of, known to not win. I believe the entire city has not won a championship since 1991 when the Redskins won. So yeah, they really want to win in Washington.
Going back to my point of there are a few teams that when they have home field advantage, they just destroy. The Cubs are one of them. But not only do they have home field advantage, it's home field advantage.
Wait,
in
you have the Cubs.
playoffs.
You have the Cubs at home field advantage. I've got the Nationals in the 2 seed now. So the two.
Right. Never mind. Well, I mean,
It is 5 games, so anything can happen. I'd say.
yeah. Well, no, but isn't it 2 here, 2 there?
No, I believe it's.
Is it all 4?
I believe it's 2, 2, and then 1 at home.
Yeah, it's 2-2.
Tiebreaker.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
With those 2 games, I'm almost guaranteeing a Cubs win.
Mm.
Because, like I said, not only are they great at home, their home field for the 2 games in the playoffs off a World Series win.
Fair enough. All right, you want to move over to actually, who you got for the CS going in? Between you've got the Dodgers, Cubs, I believe.
Yes, I had the Dodgers going to the World Series.
Between mine, I've got the Nationals going to the World Series.
The
actually.
Nationals?
First time ever. I'm gonna call it right now. I might regret it. I probably will regret it, but the way things are going, I've got those Nationals.
Okay.
I think realistically going forward, LA's got to win 3 or 4 between the series between the Dodgers and Nationals in September for me to change my mind.
All right, let's switch over to the AL.
All right, start off with the wild card. Actually, no, we'll go divisions.
Oh, you want?
Okay, number 1 seed, Houston.
Houston.
Yeah, I've got the Astros, number 1.
I got the Red Sox.
There's only about a 2-game difference between the 2 right now.
I say the Red Sox. They're a young, upcoming team they're gaining so much momentum and they're just running away with it.
But I think Houston holds on though, just because they have been a little slow. But I think they're gonna pick it back up once the players start coming back. You've got Carrera and Springer injured. Altuve's still been great though. So I mean, what can you say? So 2 seed, I'm assuming you got Houston.
No.
Yeah, I got Boston.
All right, so ours are just flipped around.
Yep.
Okay.
3 seed,
Indians.
both Cleveland. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really just want to see Boston Cleveland because they were in the ALDS last year,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a really good series. I think realistically, revenge tour could be coming back for those Red Sox. Wild card, Yankees are the 4, obviously, but who is number 5?
Yeah.
What do you got?
I have the Rangers.
I got the Royals.
You have the Royals.
I have the Royals. I believe in them. I think realistically, let's face it, we both think the Yankees are going to win that wild card game.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just flat out right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. New York's gonna win.
Yeah. I got Houston, Cleveland for the CS.
For the CS, I have
Boston, Cleveland.
Boston, Cleveland,
You got the Red Sox going to the World Series.
and winning it.
And winning it. Yeah, I got
Yes.
Cleveland for both. I know, but Katie can do it for the Golden State Warriors, then why can't the Indians do it with Edwin Encarnacion?
Don't speak those words.
I know, it sucks being in Toronto.
It's painful.
It sucks.
It's painful.
Now I've got to ask you one question.
What's that?
What's the one team that breaks up this bracket for you? That changes everything. They might not even be on the bracket right now.
I say the Rockies.
The Rockies?
They upset the Dodgers.
Okay. I'd say the Cardinals could upset the Cardinals, maybe upsetting the D-backs, and maybe we'll see what happens because they do have a pretty good record against Colorado. No, they do not. Okay. Oh yeah, they do. They're 4-2 against Colorado this season, so that might be a bit of an upset. Not to mention the Cardinals. Okay, so they've got a decent record against the Dodgers, so that'd be kind of surprising. And on the AL, I'd say the Angels probably be the one team that would kind of screw everything up, in my opinion.
For the AL,
Yeah.
your pick was the
I got Kansas City, but I think if Los Angeles is the last team to come in.
I feel like the AL there won't be any upsets. I mean,
The only upset I'd like to see, though, is the Boston Cleveland.
Think about it.
I don't know who's winning that.
there's been 5 teams in the AL that have been to the playoffs for the past 20 years. The same 5 teams.
Yeah.
That's the Red Sox, the Yankees, the
You got Cleveland, Detroit,
Cleveland, Detroit, and
Texas, really, I think.
I was
that's
gonna say Baltimore, but yeah.
No, not Baltimore.
But yeah, no upsets on the AL side. I think it's going to be all NL.
I think I really want to see a Boston Cleveland ALDS, though. That's the one thing I really want to see.
Because I want to see the upset with the number 1 team in all of baseball. and that's the Dodgers.
The Cubs did break that curse last year, actually. For those who didn't know, the last number one overall team to win the World Series was the 1995 Braves, actually, before the 2016 Cubs.
Well, that's just it. How many number one seeds in any sports, for that matter?
It's actually quite interesting. I think NHL was the 2013 Blackhawks. NBA, obviously the Warriors this year. NFL, was it the Patriots? Were they the number one team in the NFL?
Yes. When aren't they the number one team in the NFL?
And they play my Giants in the Super Bowl.
Now just you know what I mean. They're going into the playoffs.
Football's football. You gotta just leave it as it goes. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Feel free to check out anything that we've posted or anything we have in front of us. And well, that's it for us. Hopefully you have a great day. That is another one of Baseball Talk with Merrills and Spuck.